I'm Adam Johnson. My wife and I have grown our real estate business from nothing into the millions, and now my life's purpose is to show you how we did it so that you can do the same. Starting this month, I'm uploading a ton of free and very helpful videos that will be your step-by-step guide to starting an Airbnb business utilizing our go-to property acquisition technique called Subject to. Follow along these course videos, take notes, and dive into the exciting, challenging, yet very rewarding world of real estate investing with me, Adam Johnson. Enjoy.
Let's talk marketing for subject to sellers and subject to properties, okay? My mentor told me early on is that, Adam, if your phone is not ringing, you're not making sales, you won't be in business too long, okay? So, rightfully so. How do we get our phone to ring? How do we get our message out there? Well, I'll give you guys a few that we'll talk about today, techniques that we've used to be pretty successful in what we do. First thing first we'll talk about is making friends with other professionals in your industry, not just investors. One thing that we all know is that realtors know a lot about the area and a lot about the pricing, the market, the trends, all that kind of stuff. So always make friends with realtors. Find you a few good realtors in your area that understand investors. Tell them what you do and how you can benefit what they do. And I'll tell you why. I always tell realtors that we will buy the houses. We will buy the houses that you won't or can't sell. And don't take it the wrong way. Realtors get phone calls, sometimes 100 or 1,000 per month. And there'll be people with houses that have no equity, or they just bought them a few months ago, but they're leaving, and the realtor really can't sell the house because the seller probably does not have the equity needed to pay off the property when sold and also pay the commission for the realtor. So there needs to be a good spread from what the seller owes versus what the house is worth. So if a house is worth $200,000 and the seller owes $195,000, that $5,000 spread of equity, quote unquote equity, is not enough to sell their property and pay closing costs in most cases. Because generally speaking, the seller pays about 10% closing costs. So if a house is worth $200,000, they pay about $20,000 in closing. Now, if the seller owes $195,000, they don't have enough money to pay the closing costs and sell the property. So I tell realtors all the time, I'll buy the houses with no equity all the time. And I've got realtors that feed me a few leads every couple of weeks, every couple of months. Now, that being said, not every lead still works out. It has to fit our criteria as well. So realtors, make friends with realtors. Make friends with other investors in the area. We've gotten many leads and quite a few houses from other investors because not all investors do what we do, just like we don't do what other investors do. Some investors are only looking for flip properties. They're only looking for wholesales and those types of things. But as I said, they get the same phone calls that we get saying, hey, I bought my house 5 months ago. Can you help me? And if you're only flipping houses, that property probably does not fit what you're looking for. So they'll call me. And likewise, we have referred houses that did not fit our needs or our criteria to other investors. And so you have that give and take relationship within your community. So always make friends with those with investors and realtors, but also contractors. Why contractors? Contractors go in and out of hundreds of homes every single week, every single month. Give them your business cards. They go into less than desirable homes, less than desirable neighborhoods. They talk to people, and people want to talk. People tell, professionals, contractors, realtors, their problems, which they probably should not talk to a stranger and tell them your problems, but they do. So we've had contractors say, hey, Adam, there's a house on Main Street. I talked to I was in there fixing the roof for, Miss Smith, and she let me know that they're on hard times and that you probably could help them out. So I gave them your number. Cool. Fantastic. So make those friends, but also other tradesmen, everybody that works in the house, your plumbers, your handyman, lawn care. One of my students on day one of my program, he handed out his business card to one of the lawn care specialists. That lawn care specialist had a few yards in the neighborhood, and that lawn care specialist literally said, because he mowed a yard, he saw that to the next door to one of his properties that he was maintaining looked pretty bad, looked like it was in distress. So he put my student's business card in the door jamb, and sure enough, the next day, the homeowner called my student. My student had his first subject to property 3 days into the course under contract. So make friends, talk to people. You got to be a walking billboard to everyone that talks to you, what you do and how you can benefit people in your area, people in surrounding area. And what you do is very important, and people need to know that you're an asset. You can help people with properties, with problem properties and things like that. So I'm going to give you 8 ways that you can begin marketing today or the next few days. 8. So just follow me here. The most successful way that we have gotten our phone ring is using bandit signs. What are bandit signs? Bandit signs are what you see every election day that says vote for so-and-so. That's called a bandit sign, okay? Here's the pro tip, if you will, on bandit signs. You probably have noticed driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour, you saw a sign that says we buy houses, but you didn't get to see the number because you were driving too fast. Don't ever put your bandit signs on fast roads and that kind of stuff. Where do you put your bandit signs? You put your bandit signs at what we call choke points, at the entry to major subdivisions. Why? Because those are choke points, because all vehicles have to go through that stop sign to get out to go to work. So if there's a large subdivision with 200 houses, you can get 200 eyes on your bandit signs at the stop sign leading to the next major road. It says, we buy ugly houses, we buy houses, call us such and such, as is, we take over mortgages, whatever you want to use in your verbiage for marketing. Put it out there at the stop sign of the entry of a major subdivision. Now you're going to canvas, you're going to make sure that you're targeting a subdivision that fits your needs. You're probably not going to be targeting a subdivision built in the 60s, 50s. I wouldn't. If it's a subject to home buyer, I want to buy properties that are ready to be rented out today. So, but again, don't let me discourage you from marketing in those subdivisions. Find what works for you and go after those properties aggressively. Vehicles. You can get a magnet for your car, your truck right now that says Smith Home Buyers LLC, we buy houses. Right now you can do that. We had great success with my last vehicle. We got the we buy houses on the back glass of the camper portion of my pickup truck. I got houses from that and students from that. So big vehicle, big magnet that says what you do, people will call that number. I promise you that. Billboards. Now, as I say, you don't want to put a bandit sign on the highway, but those big giant billboards that have 5-6 foot lettering, everyone can see that. So you can rent those out. Depending on where you are, they may be cheaper than other areas, but that's also a very viable way to start marketing, because how many thousands and thousands of cars that are local to your area pass the billboards within your city. I'm sorry. So thousands, if not tens of thousands, depending on how big your city is. You're going to get lots of calls and interactions off of a billboard. The fourth one is social media, of course. Facebook, Instagram. I am always on Facebook saying, hey, we buy houses, realtors, we buy the houses that you can't sell. We can close in 7, 8, 10 days. We buy houses with no equity. All those buzzwords, those buzz phrases, put them out there on social media, Instagram. And if you're not as creative, if you're not super creative, you can always hire someone to help you do the graphics and do your marketing for you on social media and any other platform that we're discussing right now. The fifth marketing or ways to find properties is driving for dollars. That's what it's called, driving for dollars. And all that is going through neighborhoods, seeing ugly properties, seeing properties that have the grass grown up, seeing properties that have the blinds all destroyed, the roof shingles are hanging off, all those kinds of things, and just knocking on doors. Be a salesman, one-on-one sales, knocking on doors. That's very powerful. We've gotten properties like that. If you don't want to knock on the door, you don't have to. You can get what they call door hangers, and you can just hang it on the doorknob. And again, we buy houses, Adam Johnson, calling this number. We've gotten houses that way as well. So driving for dollars is great because you have a firsthand understanding of the surrounding area, what the subdivision looks like. You can go do your research to see what the houses are selling for in that subdivision. And your phone will ring from those door hangers and putting your business card in the door jamb. Business cards. Business cards are the most underrated way to market, okay? And let me just tell you this quick little short story. When I first did my very first batch of business cards, I ordered 500 business cards, and I had a buddy help me do that, and we misspelled the city that we live in. Instead of Clarksville, it's spelled Clackersville, okay? Why is that important? It's not important at all, because I had a business card and I handed out hundreds of those business cards, and I actually bought 7 properties from that business card, even with the misspelling. What I'm getting at is one of my Green Beret Sergeant Majors years ago, when I was still active, he told me, he said, Adam, you can have a perfect product or you can have a finished product. What I'm getting at is he has seen too many soldiers and too many people like me that wanted to be perfect, wanted to have everything done the right way and not miss anything. But in doing so, you don't ever complete the process. You hardly ever meet timelines. So I'm here to tell you, you can have a perfect product or you can have a finished product. Get something out there. We bought 7 houses with a misspelled business card. Stop waiting and stop making excuses. Get something out there to put in people's hands so that they can know you're a home buyer. The last 2 I'll talk about much more detail, which is Zillow and direct mail campaigns. Zillow, right now, if you're watching this, you're on the computer, you can get on Zillow right now, okay? You can look for properties, depending on your criteria. I'm gonna give you a few things that we look for when I'm on Zillow to find those properties. First thing first is you can filter how long a property has been listed on Zillow for sale. I like to look for properties that have been listed for over 60 days. The longer the property has been listed, the more likely you are to be able to negotiate and talk to a seller to give them your sales pitch on what you're doing. If the house has been listed for 2 days, they don't need you. You're not there. That's not a subject to house. But if the house has been listed for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, they become a little more willing to listen to your sales pitch and see how you can benefit them. We literally bought one property that had been listed for 13 months. And we actually moved into a big, beautiful home, but for whatever reason it didn't sell. We came in and offered them a solution, and the rest is history. So get on Zillow, look for the properties that have been listed even for rent or sale. If they've been listed for rent, those are almost as easy to purchase as a property listed for sale, because listed for rent, that means usually that they're renting it themselves. They may be out of state homeowners renting a property in a different state. They may have had bad experiences with renters. That happens a lot because they don't have the systems in place to be able to find great tenants and manage a property, which we'll talk about in a different course. But we've bought quite a few houses from homeowners that were out of the area and just had terrible experiences with tenants. So you can find properties on Zillow that have been listed for rent for 2, 3, 4 months, and you can get in. There's a good opportunity to talk to that seller directly about subject to. You're looking for keywords like for sale by owner, keywords like as is, investor friendly. If you just, I think you can search one of the search bars those phrases, but as you're reading those properties, that verbiage will be in there. The people that are just ready to offload a house. They're tired of dealing with maintenance. They're tired of dealing with bad tenants. There's a laundry list of all the stuff that. All the reasons why people are just sick of having a house and sick of dealing with renters. So Zillow is a great way that right now, when you finish this class, you can get on Zillow.com. You can search your area. You can search certain zip codes. You can search those buzzwords, those as is, investor friendly, all those types of things. And you can start putting a list together right now with phone numbers to give them a call to see if you can provide them a solution to their need. Last thing I'm gonna talk about as far as marketing, we don't do a lot of this. We've done a few drip campaigns, is direct mailing campaigns. How do you do a direct mail campaign? Okay, so first thing first is you have to have a system to go in to be able to pull this information. There's 2 that are pretty popular, and that's PropStream and List Source. Those are the 2 more popular property searching for investors, websites for investors. I hope I said that right. And what that is those websites, just like Zillow, are connected and linked into your local county tax assessor. So you wonder how Zillow knows that a house was sold 5 months ago for such and such amount and who owned it and all that kind of stuff, because that is public information that can be pulled through websites like PropStream, ListSource, and many, many others. So what you can do if you now those are usually not free, by the way. If you purchase the PropStream or the ListSource, you can go in and you can pull the information from the county tax assessor, and you can search for homes that were purchased 1 year ago that have little to no equity, that are in a certain zip code, because that's what you want to target. You can purchase homes for a certain size, 2 bedrooms or smaller, 3 bedrooms or larger, at least 3 bathrooms, whatever your criteria is. You can filter that on those 2 sites in many other sites. Now, we've done it before, didn't have a ton of success, but we also didn't do it consistently. Just to be completely honest, we weren't very consistent using that method, because the other methods that we do utilize have been very successful for us. Not to say that it won't be successful for you. I believe when you find what works, you put more energy into that, because not every market is the same. So take that for what it's worth. Try some of these, give it a fair shot, do some more research to kind of see what's the best way. And then if it works, drive through with it. If it doesn't, stop, waste time on it. So direct mailing, Zillow, business cards, Facebook, social media, driving for dollars, and all the other ones that I mentioned, you can just start doing those, most of them today. You can go drive for dollars today. You can go get business cards off of Vistaprint and have them at your door in the next 2 or 3 days. You can start handing out business cards as soon as you get those in the mail. You can start knocking on doors. You can get on Facebook right now and say, hey, Steve Smith, home buyer, we buy houses right now when you finish this course. So there is no excuse. Start marketing today if you're not already marketing. So just to summarize what all we talked about in the last 15, 20 minutes, you have to market because your phone has got to ring. If your phone is not ringing, you're not making sales, you will not be in business much longer. You have to generate leads, and you have to have a criteria to be able to generate those leads. Not every home, not every phone call, not every seller fits what you're looking for, okay? And don't waste their time. Either provide them a direction to someone who can help them, which is what I highly recommend. You always want to help as many people as you can. Or you can just say, sorry, there's nothing I can do for you this time. I've only had 2 people out of over 500 phone calls that I couldn't offer any solution. Like it just wasn't working. But everyone else, here's what I can do for you. Here's my options. Or so-and-so deals with this type of property more frequently, or here's a realtor that we use a lot, that we really trust and respect. I always try to have a solution, whether it's with me or not. And that's how you have to look at this. Don't look at people as money. Look at them as building relationships, because the people that you treat right, they're going to refer you to people. We've bought many houses off referrals as well, because we treated someone with dignity and respect and helped them in their time of need. And it's compounding, it's reciprocal. It comes back to you. So, and then as far as marketing and people, you have to make friends, talk to everybody. You have to be a salesman. Now, let me just say one caveat to everything we talked about so far. One caveat. Not everybody is meant to be in front of the camera. Not everybody is meant to be doing commercials, and I completely understand that, okay? However, you can always hire someone to do this for you. If you're not a person that's great at copywriting and doing ads, hire someone. If you're not the person that's great, generating the great Facebook posts or Instagram posts with graphics, hire someone. A large majority of our business we hire out because I'm not the best at many things that this business requires. So I did a self-assessment early on, and I realized what I'm not good at, and I hired people who are better and smarter than me at those tasks, and they have improved our business tenfold. If I was still the one person from day one doing everything in my business, I would probably have 5 properties, probably still be in the Army. We wouldn't be talking today had I not hired people to help me grow and expand. So that's it for this class, guys. Go out there and make friends, start marketing, get the word out, start shaking hands, start, just sell yourself. Let everyone know that you're out there and you exist, and how you can benefit the local public when it comes to their real estate needs. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Until the next class, we'll see y'all later.
Thanks for watching. If you got lots of value from our free content, you're going to love the one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and seminars that we offer on our website at reisimplified.co. We look forward to guiding you through the early steps of building your business, buying real estate, and working towards financial freedom. Let's go buy some houses.